ever dream of early retirement, escaping the rat race and sailing off into the sunset? I know I do.
Bad news, I'm afraid. Most of us are going to have to work until we're at least 67 before we can pack it in.
But there's a growing band of Brits who are coming up with ingenious, innovative and unusual ideas on how to retire before they're 40.
And we are going to meet them.
I'm meeting the UK's super savers to uncover how their frugal ways could help you retire early.
If you can save 75%, it will take you only 7 years to go from broke to enough money never having to work again.
I'm going to find out how some savvy people are trend spotting to become financially free.
What would you have been paying in rent?
About £650.
So essentially, what you're paying off in your mortgage is less than what you'd be paying in rent.
And I'll be talking to the brave souls who quit their day jobs to launch their big idea.
Well, last year we hit just over 3 million.
£3 million in sales in a year?
Yeah.
When would you like to give up work? Well, within 10 years, all of us, men and women, will have to work until we're 67 years old before getting a state pension. And anyone under 30 will be working beyond their 70th birthday.
But it doesn't have to be this way. There's a growing band of people who are bucking this trend and somehow retiring early, many before they're 40. They're part of a movement called financial independence.
Financial independence means you have control. We've had 1,000 people come through where we are tonight, but in the global community we have coming up to 300,000 members.
In fact, lots of us Brits are doing pretty well. 58% of people who retired last year did so before the official retirement age.
And unbelievably, there's already 55,000 people under 40 who've given up work. And let's face it, we all dream of escaping the rat race.
I'd love to travel more and just the simple things. Maybe get down my ironing pile.
Sit on a beach somewhere and do nothing. Oh, I'd like to open maybe an animal sanctuary.
At one time it was on the beach in Barbados. That's where I wanted to retire, but it's likely to be more local than that.
All I know is that I haven't retired and I'm 46. Well, I've basically got 4 years to go till I'm 50.
I've got 8 years.
I've got 4.
OK, the race is on.
It's going to be you and me against each other to hit 50. Oh, no, 4 years till you're 40.
Yeah. I'm so sorry you had to find out this way.
Well, that's awkward. So what does life look like if you manage to retire super early? Well, these folks have all done it.
We retired at the age of 31, and we're the youngest people in Canada to do so. And we just turned 34, so we've been retired for a couple of years and traveling around the world.
I highly recommend it.
Instead of taking on a massive mortgage and buying an expensive house like everyone else, we rented and invested instead in index funds. So the money that we didn't have to spend on all these expensive housing costs like property taxes and maintenance, we put that into a portfolio, and over time it grew enough that the passive income allows us to travel forever and not have to work anymore.
Wow, so Canada's youngest retirees.
It's quite extraordinary, but I'm
inspired.
Really
Are you jealous? I'm inspired.
So the question is, how do you get to retire early?
Well, we're going to put 3 very different ways to the test.
Super saving,
Trend spotting,
and first up, taking a risk. I want to find the people who are risking it all on a big idea to try and retire early. What happens when you get a load of people who all think they've got a brilliant money-making idea together in the same room? I've got absolutely no idea, but apparently the answer lies right here. This is Escape the City, where people who want to escape the rat race come to learn the skills they need.
Tonight is focusing on idea generation.
One of the head honchos behind it is Ben Keane.
I look like I'm brimming with ideas, so I'm not sure I am right now.
$1 million question. How do you come up with that one money-making idea that's going to be a massive success?
So this is where I'm going to disappoint you. It's not the ideas that make you a massive success.
OK.
It's what you do with them. So ideas are cheap and easy. If you look at something like Airbnb, it's just not a new idea. It's not even an amazing idea. But they executed this idea so well
Brilliantly, yeah.
that they are now the biggest hotel in the world.
Yes.
And they don't wash any bed linen.
We Brits are embracing our entrepreneurial side in droves, setting up 80 new businesses an hour. More than ever before. Which is exactly what 28-year-old Pippa did when she quit her day job 2 years ago to start her own business. Pip!
Hi.
Hello, I am your little elf for the day, can I just say? Am I allowed round?
Yeah, come around.
Pip started off concocting her nut butters in her kitchen and selling them at her local market before going national. How long have you been going for, Pippa?
So we've been trading for 2 years now.
How much have you made?
How much we made?
Yeah, go on.
Well, last year in 2016, we hit just over 3 million. So, yeah, it's been a bit of an amazing couple of years.
£3 million in sales in a year.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So, Pippa, let's get into the sticky business of financing, because where did you get the money from?
I went about it by raising money on a crowdfunding platform.
What does that mean? That the people who give you the money, and they're strangers, presumably, when are they going to get their money back?
They get shares in your company, and I guess with the view that you'll grow your brand to a certain size and eventually sell it.
How much did you raise?
So I raised £120,000, so yeah.
You are kidding. How long did it take you to raise that?
So it took 9 days when it was on the site, so it was a really quick process.
I'm really sorry, I'm going, because this is a waste of my time working in television. I cannot believe that. The UK's alternative finance market is now worth over £3.2 billion, with crowdfunding leading the way. Websites like Crowdcube and Syndicate Room mean anyone can put their ideas online, so people can invest and help kickstart a fledgling business. I've got to say, Pip, you know, all power to you, that 2 years ago you gave up your job, and here you are, and you've turned over £3 million. Brilliant. I salute you. So far, so glamorous. It might be nuts, but this is big business. Join me later as I meet a man who launched his novelty potato business for just over £1,000.
A recent study suggests in 30 years' time we'll each have to live off a pension of just £271 a month. I'm out to meet the people super saving now to reach retirement much sooner. And my first stop is this man, former accountant Barney, who retired at the tender age of 43.
Barney, good to see you. I'm good, yeah. Shall we?
And he's agreed to give me his exclusive guide of how I and you could do the same.
So, Barney, how much money do I actually need to retire?
All you need is 25 times your annual spending, and then you're financially independent. So if you spend £25,000 a year, then you need £625,000 to be financially independent and never have to work again.
Saving 25 times my annual expenditure? Is that even possible? And how long is this going to take me?
If you can save 50% of your income, it will take you about 19 years to go from broke to enough money never having to work again. But if you can get your savings rate up to a really amazing 75%, then the amount of time it takes is only 7 years.
You know that film A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe and the numbers flying around? Got that at the moment.
So, I've got the rather scary numbers, but how does anyone go about saving that large a percentage of their income? My next step is to meet someone who's doing exactly this.
But in the meantime, get your notepads out. It's time for more secret tips from our wall of early retirees.
We retired on the 30th of September 2015, both aged 43. Sunglasses going on. We're parked up with a couple of other vans by the beach. That's Morocco in a motorhome, really. Track what you spend, because you'd be surprised where money goes that you just didn't know it was going to. Trim what you can, so cut down on spending.
Believe in yourself, and you know, don't let other people persuade you that it's not something that can be done.
I'm on the road meeting the people who are trend spotting to achieve early retirement.
Property used to be an investor's dream, but these days, even owning your own home can seem like a bit of a pipe dream.
In 2016, the average house price paid by first-time buyers was around £205,000. But where could you afford to get your first home? In Wales, first-time buyers splash out on average £134,000 on their first home, like this one. In East Anglia, it's around £196,000. And in London, you'll need a huge £403,000. And that's why these guys, Chris and Ollie, have found an ingenious but potentially risky way to get their foot on the property ladder, by going Dutch on their £365,000 flat.
Hello!
Hi there.
I hear it's somebody's anniversary.
Well, thank you very much. That's very kind. Would you like to come in?
Yeah, I would love to. Okay, so what are we celebrating the 1-year anniversary of?
Well, we've been living in this property together for a year now.
So you bought this as a couple?
No, not quite. It's an investment that we went halves on, something that we're looking to sell in a few years' time and, you know, hopefully do quite well out of it.
By buying together, Ollie and Chris are part of a rapidly growing trend. In the last 12 months, only 243,000 people bought a house on their own.
And obviously spreading the risk across two people and being able to combine both your incomes makes a big difference.
So everything's split, from the investment to the bills to then obviously the profit?
Exactly, yeah, 50-50, straight down the middle. We both walk away at the end of our kind of mortgage product, which is in 3 years.
Cheers, guys. Well, congratulations. And I got you a cake as well to celebrate.
Thank you very much.
Don't you just want to put your face in it?
Ollie and Chris seem to be living in perfect harmony, but I'm determined to find out what it's really like to buy a place with your mate by putting them under a little bit of pressure.
What's his most annoying trait?
Well, he's a lot better looking than me.
Who has better taste?
Me, by miles.
Do you ever regret buying together?
Never.
Do you ever regret buying together?
Well, I wish I had a place on my own sometimes.
Well, it kind of does sound like it is all sweetness and light. I'm really impressed, although you did say that you might want to live on your own, so you guys might want to have a chat about that at some point.
Time to talk money.
How much did you guys put in each to get your flat?
We both put in 25,000, didn't we?
£25,000 is a lot of money, but it also doesn't really get you anywhere in the property ladder in London, does it? So what do you now pay for your mortgage compared to, say, what you might pay for rent?
I think now we're paying £1,200 a month. Yeah. Collectively, so that's £600 each.
So £600 each, and what would you have been paying in rent?
I was paying about £650.
Yeah, I was paying about £750.
So essentially, what you're paying off in your mortgage is less than what you'd be paying in rent.
If you decided to buy with someone and not put in equal deposits, you should work out how proceeds from the sale of the property will be split before you buy.
We do have tenancy in common, so we both own equal shares of the property, so, you know, touch wood, if the worst were to happen, then we both own 50-50% of the property.
This is a very smart move. If anything happens to either of them, they can say who their half should go to, unlike traditional joint tenancy mortgages used by many couples.
Chris and Ollie have taken a bit of a risk in buying with a friend. But what sounds even more risky is the latest trend. There are now agencies that are bringing strangers together to buy properties. Now that is brave.
Welcome back to How to Retire at 40.
We're tracking down those clever people who've already retired early or are trying to see how they're getting on.
In the UK, an amazing 55,000 people under the age of 40 have already retired, and it's growing.
But unless you're the one in 14 million who wins the lottery, how can you escape the rat race?
We're putting 3 different ways to the test. Taking a risk on a big idea.
Trend spotting to retire early.
Or super saving. Earlier, I discovered the secret formula showing how much money you need to save to be financially independent.
If you can save 75% of your income, it will take you only 7 years to go from broke to enough money never having to work again.
My next stop is to meet 30-year-old Nicola, her husband Dave, and 15-month-old Alfie. Nicola has created her very own 5-2 diet for her finances.
Nicola.
Hi.
Heard you were doing the big family shop. Thought I'd come and lend a hand.
Yeah, we just finished.
Can I take that one for you?
Yeah, thank you.
This is your family shop for the entire week.
Yes, everything.
All right. So I've been trying to figure out what the 5-2 spending diet might mean.
So you don't spend for 5 days and you can spend for 2 days?
I don't spend anything for 5 days.
No.
This is what you do?
Yes.
How do you stay alive?
Planning.
So why are you doing this? What's the long-term plan?
We want to retire early. We want to retire when we're 50.
So Nicola and Dave want to retire 17 years early. And to do it, they don't spend any money 5 days a week. They're saving £14,000 a year, which is a massive 40% of their income. So just how hard is it not to spend anything? In the name of financial independence research, I'm going to give the money diet a go. Wish me luck. I have a meeting in town, but because I can't buy a travel card, I have to walk there, which is a 90-minute trip both ways, so that's a 3-hour round trip. So it's lunchtime. Ordinarily, I would pop out to the shops, get a nice sandwich or a lovely bit of sushi, but I can't spend any money, so I've got to make do with what's in the house, which is peanut butter on a sweet potato and a hunk of old bread. Oh, I am already out of loo roll. I've got to be honest, I could go for a chicken burger right now. So it turns out that if you don't want to spend any money, you have to be quite organised. And if you don't do that, then you will probably end up defrosting a random tub of orange gunk from your freezer and hoping that it doesn't kill you.
Rick, you looked completely defeated. You couldn't even manage 48 hours, Rick.
It's so hard. You give it a go. There's this idea that you have to make a lot of money to retire early, but actually, those are people who have very ordinary jobs, and retiring early is open to anyone.
I'm back on the road to meet those taking a risk on their big idea. And this man, 23-year-old Adrian, is earning his way to early retirement with a business that he set up for around £1,000.
So, Adrian, what is the business exactly?
The business is people get to send personalised messages written on a potato.
So you buy potatoes and people pay you to write a message on a potato?
That's right, yeah.
And you send it in the post?
Yeah.
So are people seriously paying for this, Adrian?
Yes.
How much for a potato?
Well, the cheapest one is £3.99.
So £4 for that with a message on it?
That's right, yeah.
Wow.
And it's always free delivery.
Adrian's tapped into a lucrative market. In 2015, 27 million of us purchased a personalised gift and on average spent £36.50 each.
So how many are you selling a week?
A week, at the top end, 150, other end, 120.
How much are you making a year?
Net profits are around 26,732 and 71 pence, in that vicinity.
You are joking.
No.
Your net receipts, 26,000?
That's right, yeah.
Wow.
These figures are astonishing. Adrian works just 8 hours a week on his spud business, making his hourly wage £64.29, way above the UK average of £13.70.
Thank you. There you go, it's quite heavy. Brilliant, ready for that? Come on then.
And all this on a business that incorporates a self-built website, a few potatoes, some felt-tip pens, and the odd accessory. So Adrian can send his spuds to people who didn't even ask for them.
I mean...
Where to begin?
You tell me. I'm kind of impressed. I like that entrepreneurial spirit.
Well, I was laughing, but then when I saw how much he's clearing, I stopped laughing.
And that's the thing, I think lots of us, we have these ideas, but we never actually see them through. He has.
Yeah.
I'm tracking down the people who are trend spotting to get one step closer to retirement.
Who doesn't love getting the odd tasty takeaway every now and again? Well, now there's a way that you can get food from top restaurants for a fraction of the price and help save the environment too.
The average Brit is now spending £110 a month on takeaways. That's a whopping £1,320 a year.
Well, we're eating out probably about £20 a week, maybe a little bit more.
Probably spend about 40 quid a month on takeaways.
On eating out? Oh, hundreds of pounds every month, yeah.
There are numerous ways to save money on food, with lots of choice on offer and astonishing value to be had. Crush Fit Food and Juice Bars offer 50% off for the last hour of the day. Bakery chain Greggs has 14 outlet stores around the UK that sell day-old donuts and sandwiches at a discounted price. But there are now apps that can save you up to 75% of the cost of your takeaway, saving an average of £924 a year. What apps like this one called Too Good To Go do is allow restaurants to sell on meals at the end of each service to reduce food waste and recoup some costs.
Hi.
Hi, I'm here to collect a takeaway.
Great, follow me.
Good. So normally this would be food that you would actually just be chucking at the end of a day.
Yeah, it's pretty heartbreaking as a restaurateur. The idea of literally just tossing perfectly good food in a bin is disgusting.
It's outdated,
yeah,
isn't it?
And you know, obviously gives us a little bit of money as well towards costs at the same time.
It looks really good.
The customer isn't going to get a chance to choose from the menu.
They spend £3.50 on a portion, and then it's a kind of lucky dip.
Yeah, it's totally lucky dip. Is it going to be at least, you know, between £9 and £12 worth of food for that £3.50? But
that sounds pretty good for a lucky dip.
Well, it should be a full-size portion, really. That's the idea, is that, you know, you get a meal for £3.50. That's the deal.
Cool. Right. Thanks.
No worries.
So, £3 to £4 for a whole portion and no washing up.
Turns out there's plenty of ways to reach retirement that little bit earlier. But which would you be willing to try?
We asked people in our survey what they thought the best way was to retire early. Save their money or take a risk?
I'm going to say take a risk.
I think people are going to go for saving.
Well, I can exclusively reveal to you that 66% of people said save.
Oh,
There you go.
Really?
All about the saving.
Yeah. No, I don't think we're risk takers.
No, fair enough.
So whether you super save, take a risk or trend spot, there's things we can all do to retire that little bit sooner.
Right, well, who's up for a cocktail by the pool?
Yes,
it's your pool, isn't it?
Let's do
One
this. But which pool?
I know. Have you got a member of staff? Of course, yeah.
Get the naked housekeeper to serve.